So we coming to you live from Dublin, Ireland, and we are very excited for another football season this time around. Uh, wish we were in Dublin, Ireland, actually, but there was just some technical difficulties and some irresponsible decisions made by me on the days leading up to Ireland and the Notre Dame game. So, which I'm actually not there, didn't make it, but wish them, well, safe travels, win the game, all those type of things. I'm back in New York, like so, but. It was my birthday week. Honestly, if I couldn't spend it in Dublin, the next best spot would probably be New York. So it's been a great week. Saw Dave Chappelle show on my birthday. Saw he brought Nas out. He brought Chris Rock out. Who else he bring out? He brought De La Soul, Roots, the Baby. So many people. So far, a great week. Got to lock in, do some more work, and also do his podcast. So I'm your host of Varsity House Podcast. My name is Sean Crawford, co-host Carl Jones, the local legend. And so if you didn't get to purchase one of those local legends hat, if you get in the comments, we might redrop them, but we did sell a lot of them. Those were the hats from our first annual youth football camp in Cleveland, Ohio. And so it was a great event. Carl actually didn't make it because due to work, but he is an OG on Varsity House, and so I had to bless him with one of those. So, Carl, thanks for coming on.
Nah, man, the pleasure is mine. We ain't did this in a minute, but like you said, work, life. You've been grinding on my boy, camps, golf tournaments. My boy been global, ain't he? I mean, doing it all. I mean, podcasting. My boy think he Tiger Woods now. Then he giving back to the community. I'm like, goddamn, what can he do? Like, so it's all love and all good to catch up.
Yeah, so I mean, it is good that we starting to do this again, just because there may be something on the horizon. Doing a show, weekly show, sports show. So had to what is it? The loosen up the wheels. Throw some oil on the gears, and get back to it and get the relationship going again. But yeah, no, it's been fun. Training camp has been fun. I feel like during this time right now, especially, it's just baseball on, so for me, it was an opportunity to create new content, interact with new players, interact with organizations, and things like that. And so that was just a way to get out there, see some of the guys, get some quick content, so I didn't have to sit there and just watch baseball all month. But now I'm excited. But first, before we get to the NFL, we got college football that's come in. I saw some. It's actually week 0. I saw someone say, "I can't believe that or Mike Renner actually said it, former Varsity House guest. He said, "I can't believe we've accepted just the term week 0." And it makes so much sense because it's like it's football season, but it's some games that people probably don't really care about, but it really start week 1. So I like the term week 0 still, but first team that's kicking off the 2023 college football season, and in week 0 and in Dublin, Ireland. My Notre Dame Irish. I got my Notre Dame hat on right here. This is exclusive. I don't think they've ever sold this. I don't think I'm the only one with it. But I'm excited. I don't really know too much about our team. Definitely don't know anything about Navy, but I do know it's going to be a physical game. Navy's going to run triple option. Notre Dame has a new quarterback, so I'm expecting them to air it out a little bit. But we also have a great offensive line, so and a returning running back. So I expect us to use the run game, as much as we can. I think it'll be a quick game. I think they'll run the ball a lot, and I think we'll run the ball majority of the time as well. So I do have the Irish coming out on top. You never know what the score can be, just because you never know how many possessions you can get. So I do think we'll have like a two touchdown lead to or a margin of victory, but I have no idea what they're going to score. So hopefully it's not too much, and hopefully we kill it. And also Payday Fantasy, go download Payday Fantasy. You can go on there, make some sports picks. I took Sam Hartman's under touchdowns, under yards, but I took over on Audric Estime's rushing touchdowns and rushing yards, just because I think it's gonna be more running and passing. And I took under on the Navy quarterbacks passing yards. I feel like that's a gimme, but who knows?
No, hey, look, I'm excited to see Hartman, man. I know I played him at Wake. Damn, he been in college that long. Sheesh. I remember when he was a young boy, he was at Wake, and he was all right then, and he was lighting up the ACC. I know he got probably all the Wake records at this point. He's a good quarterback, and you put him in Notre Dame, where he got like a NFL who's who in front of him blocking for him, and then good system around him. He gonna have a good year. I know everyone's talking about Drake May from UNC, and obviously Caleb on the West Coast, but I think Sam Hartman can do some nice things over at ND and put a little spotlight on the middle of the country right now outside of Ohio State.
It's been a lot of conversation on Michigan as well this year. For some reason, I think what's the coach Harbaugh said he's better than, or McCarthy's better than Andrew Luck at that time in college. Now, I think as the head coach, and I think he's a QB guru, or what they call it, but I think that is something that you want to say about your current player. I think we all know, we
He
all
on that alcohol. That's what that is. He on that alcohol.
we all saw and witnessed Andrew Luck, in college and also his early into the NFL. So that is a tall task, but I do think Notre Dame, Michigan, Ohio State could be the teams of focus in the Midwest this year. I don't know if you consider Penn State Midwest, but I think I feel like they've always had hype going into every year, but I
It's
just feel
higher
like
this year, man.
I
It's
feel like
higher
this
this
year is it's either like it's Big Ten championship or nothing
for real though. Like that's what they talking like over there in Happy Valley, which is dope because I mean, for as long as we've been alive, it's been Ohio State and the rest really for the Midwest. But like Ohio State lost CJ Stroud, and I know they always gonna have a nice quarterback, but still like Michigan, they returning everybody. Harbaugh talking cash. This is his last year. James Franklin talking about this is the best team I'd have never had. I'm like, bro, you had Saquon. Like, what you mean? Like, this team better than that? Sheesh. And then obviously Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman's second year there. So like everybody feeling confident. But they saying that in August. We'll see who talking like that come January.
facts because it's funny because Ohio State's playing Notre Dame, so Ohio State actually gets to play everyone out of those teams we just named. Ohio State gets to play everyone. And that's something I probably would never say just because I think Ohio State's schedule is pretty easy. But this year, they obviously got Michigan, they got Penn State, but you also add Notre Dame is on there as well. So tough schedule, for them, and also a new starting quarterback. But when you got Marvin Harrison Jr. at receiver, you kind of just need a quarterback to put it in the area, and then he'll do the rest.
Bro, we watched Jahmyr Chase his 2019 year, and I'm like, damn, I ain't seen nobody like him. We ain't get to see Moss, like Calvin was at Georgia Tech. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I wasn't watching Georgia Tech back in 2006. Marvin looked like he one of them ones, man, and I just hope my boy stay healthy because we didn't get to watch JSN last year because of health. I just pray for Marvin's health so we get to witness another year like that, man, because that dude is special.
More onto week 0. Other games, other matchups. We got UTEP, Jacksonville State. Probably, I'm gonna miss that one. UMass, New Mexico State. Yeah, I'm gonna miss that one too. Ohio, San Diego State. That might Ohio MAC football, baby. We early.
Action, baby. Come on.
Week 0, we got some MAC football at San Diego State, so they get to go out there to San Diego, get to see the sunshine, the water, all that, the hills, the mountains. Hopefully they out there, San Diego State, they might be too comfortable. They might be ready before Ohio. And we got Hawaii at Vanderbilt. I like that one. I like Vandy. Coach Lee just got the extension, so I'm excited to see what his troops do out there week 0. Got Hawaii coming from a long ways away. Should be a definite advantage for Vanderbilt. San Jose State at USC. Now that's one I'm not gonna miss. Got to see Caleb Williams first year or returning this year.
Ain't it crazy that we excited to watch San Jose State play football just because of Caleb? That's wild. That's really wild.
I mean, San Jose is just honestly just going to be on the screen. I'm really seeing what USC is doing. Like I just want to see the pieces USC got because I know they lost Addison, and I really didn't know much even about the rest of the team last year. So I just want to see like the pieces that they got, who Caleb throwing to, who he handed it off to, coach some of the plays that coach might throw out there. So that's what I'm really looking for. San Jose, they just happen to be on the opposite, on the field with them, and unless I would watch practice if I had to, but this is a little better. But no, I mean, hopefully, obviously, I hope they keep it close, keep the game interesting. But I do want to see Caleb, do his thing.
No, yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. What he did last year was remarkable. It's like I said, bar and health. We get another year of that, man. That's a blessing for sure.
And then last one, Florida International at La Tech. I like La Tech. La Tech usually have a good team. They usually a talented team as well. So I'm excited for week 0. I'm excited for college football. Probably one of the, I don't know, I want to say few people, but definitely one of the people who enjoy watching college football, from if there is a Thursday night game all the way till Sunday, and especially next weekend, looking ahead, we got the Labor Day weekend. We got those sets of games. We got Florida State on Monday night. I think we got Miami of Ohio on Friday night versus University of Miami. So that's a battle of the Miamis next week. Thursday matchup, we got Nebraska at Minnesota. That's an early, nice physical Big Ten matchup game. I think that'll be cool Thursday to kick off this season. Florida at Utah Thursday. That's what I'm saying. College football gonna start off with a bang. I feel like each night, especially tomorrow, you got Notre Dame highlighting it, USC highlighting, and then next week you start off with Florida, Utah, Nebraska, UCF, Wake Forest. You got some good programs out there. And then
don't forget, we got TCU, Colorado the next day. Get to see Dion on Saturday. The next day
on Saturday, yeah, on Saturday, TCU. Colorado at TCU. We get to see Virginia. We get to see Virginia at Tennessee. We definitely got some great matchups heading into week 1. And also, I always liked the Ohio State Indiana matchup. I feel like
a lot of points.
Always high scoring. Those are two teams that great offenses, and I'm actually interested to see what Ohio State's defense is like this year. So knowing that they haven't been the best or up to their standard in the past couple of years, I'm excited to see what Indiana has on their side of the ball and what they can do. And so, I'm very excited for college football. And then Sunday we got Sunday game is September 3rd, and that's LSU at Florida State. So it's not on Monday. Monday night game is Clemson at Duke. So from Thursday to Monday, you were set. You were set with college football Thursday to Monday. You shouldn't really need to leave your couch, but it might be some games in there at 4 o'clock on the Saturday. It don't look too good. Colgate at Syracuse, though. I see that one. Colgate at Syracuse. You might want to stick on couch for that one. But Georgia.
First half.
All right, bad. Syracuse, okay, bad. So you got that little break from probably like 5:30. Maybe 5 to 6, because Georgia come on at 6, and we got to sit down and watch them. But obviously excited for football season, excited for college football season. But now let's talk a little bit about pro season. Preseason is finishing up. I think it's every team's last game this week before they get that Labor Day weekend off. It's preseason, so it's hard to judge much. A lot of starters haven't even played. I watched Steelers and Falcons last night. Falcons put 0 starters out there. Steelers put them all out there. So, if you're a betting man and you didn't take it, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know.
Shout out to Croft for hooking up that one.
I don't know if you could consider yourself a betting man, but it's hard to judge. But I'm just excited to see all the rookie quarterbacks. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. I thought Kenny Pickett. I know he's not a rookie, but I thought Kenny Pickett played very well this preseason. Anthony Richardson, I thought, had a solid season or preseason. And then I think the best preseason of them all was our guy from Cleveland, DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. And so, when he hopped on the field, it was electric. It was energy. It was like it looked like he was out there playing for UCLA again. Like it was a ton of fun. Like he took advantage of the moment, and then he just announced the backup to Deshaun Watson. So I'm excited for, you know, all those rookie quarterbacks, and then there's a ton of positions, ton of battles going on. So obviously can't get into those, but want to just touch on, you know, to highlight usually what people talk about is rookie quarterbacks. You know, maybe some running back receiver matchups, but from what I saw out of the quarterbacks, I think the first round class, they're doing well, and I think they will do well heading into this season.
Yeah, and two more quarterbacks that's been doing their thing. Aiden O'Connell out in Las Vegas. I know he like 29. I'm exaggerating, but like not that far off to be honest. But I mean, he hit the ground running, and obviously, who knows long term with Jimmy G if he can stay healthy throughout the season. It looks like Aiden is mature enough to be out there and hold down the fort at least. You know, I'm not gonna say light light it on fire or anything, but he was doing solid in the preseason, so I was encouraging to see. But I think the most impressive thing for me this preseason is Sam Howell. I know he was a fifth round pick and, you know, got lost in a shuffle a little bit. Like, oh, like, is he good or anything? But bro was a baller at North Carolina. Don't get it mistaken. I think Croft played against him, if I'm not mistaken. But he was balling. And when you got Scary Terry out there, Jahan Dotson, and I'm missing one more. When you
Curtis
got all those,
Samuel, got Curtis Samuel.
you feel me? They got some guys out there. So Eric Bieniemy is the OC, so you know he's gonna be cooking it up the plays and having them in the right positions. Sam Howell looking good. Obviously, the preseason, the defenses are very, very vanilla. It kind of irritates me how vanilla they are, but I know why they're not showing nothing. But nonetheless, he's another guy who's impressed me a lot, considering he's basically a rookie in his own right because he didn't play last year.
Yeah, I like Washington's team in general. They got a nice running back, two running backs actually, out there, and then their defense is a competing defense. Like their defense should keep them in every single game, and so I think, you know, I think that division alone is going to be tough. But I think Washington, if they can, if Sam Howell can get it going on the offensive side of the ball, I think the defense will keep them in a lot of games. So I think they'll have a ton of opportunity to win games, but. Let's get into a lot. I know what a lot of people are focused on right now, and that's fantasy football. Fantasy football picks. You got to check out. Some guys not even on rosters. Yeah, I just saw Dalvin Cook got signed to the Jets, which is crazy because it's like, how do you use, like, do you draft a Brees Hall? Do you draft a Dalvin? Like, and then Garrett Wilson and, you know, Aaron Rodgers gonna throw the ball now. So like it's tough. It's tough, you know, figuring that all out. But you know, Dalvin, I feel like he can work with you know, any quarterback, especially leaving Kurt and what he did with Justin Jefferson. So, you know, he makes the most of his touches when he gets them. And so if you had some sleeper picks, or let's start this. What's a must-have fantasy pick? And or who's your must-have fantasy pick? And then who is your top sleeper pick?
So for me, give y'all a little insights on where I am right now. I'm picking 10th, and I believe it's next week. So we're going to be able to see all the injuries because I know a lot of people pick earlier in the year so you can get the sleeper picks and like, oh, like y'all didn't know he was having a good training camp. Well, I picked him before his stock went up in training camp. I'm late. We pick after the injuries. That's where we go. So I'm picking 10th. So I'm not going to be able to get Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Eckler, CMC, none of them guys. But what I can do around 10, I'm hoping Bijan's still there. I saw one play in preseason and I was sold. It was like that 12-yard run. It was the greatest 12-yard run I've ever seen, the first touch in NFL history. So I'm sold. And another player, it's not really a sleeper because he's been getting his love, but you don't draft a guy this high just to put him on the bench. And that's Jahmyr Gibbs from Detroit. Listen, my boy he can scoop. We saw it at Bama. You don't get slower when you get to the league. Dan Campbell, if it's one thing that he gonna do, he gonna tote that pill, okay? We saw last year what he did with DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams. Jahmyr Gibbs is gonna light the world on fire. Y'all know how fantasy is when it comes to the running backs who can catch the ball. Obviously, he can do that. Barring injury, that's a dude who I gotta have on my team. I know it's kind of risky taking two rookie running backs, but I mean, if there's one position where you're fine, it'll be that position. So not really the craziest advice on the planet, but hopefully Bijan's still there at 10 for me. And then I'm gonna get, you know, Jahmyr round 3, hopefully 4 if I'm really, really lucky.
Mm-hmm. I think a sleeper pick is, and I don't know, you might consider him a sleeper. I think he's a sleeper just because you compare him to the other receivers, but Jalen Hyatt. Now we went to the Giants practice and we saw them practice, and then later on they had the game, the preseason game, and he scored in that game as well. I think he dropped one bomb earlier in the game, and then he caught the next one for a touchdown. And when I tell you, even at practice, the routes they got this man, the separation that he is creating on his routes is ridiculous. And it's not, not the intermediate, not the short throws. It's the over routes, it's the post, it's the goes, it's all those things. And when I say he's creating separate, like he's leaving double coverage. And so if you want a lot of your, and Daniel Jones can put it out there too. He has a very strong arm. And so if you want, I think if you're a fantasy owner out there and you want some touchdowns and you want a lot of yards, I think that's a guy to have as your third receiver, maybe. Have him as your third receiver because teams are going to have to honor the run 100%. You got some great underneath weapons. You got Darren Waller. You got Cole Beasley, Paris Campbell. Well, Paris could also take it off, take the top off the defense. But you got a ton of receivers that are intermediate threats and short game threats. Where it's like this guy right here, when he is getting the ball. And so
it's scary, man. Like I seen that one clip of him in the slot. Put it like this. If you got your safety trying to play quarters coverage on him from 12 yards off, coach, what we doing, coach? It look nasty. It look like that Bama film. It look like that Bama film.
I think he's going to be a great sleeper pick this season. And then I think best pick, I'm not in the league right now. I need to find the league to hop into but it's hard to keep up with it, bro. It's so hard to keep up with it.
With the gambling in real life is tough.
By week 9, your team 500, maybe not 500, and it's like, do I even feel like changing my roster? Like, who's injured? Who's playing? It's a lot of stuff going on. So, but I'm gonna try to get in one. But I would say like, I would try to go around you. Like, let's just say I got like the 10th pick. I would just probably try to get a receiver. I feel like a receiver is the best. What do you think about? You think Christian McCaffrey will be going around 10?
Nah, like the first 4 that I'm seeing, Justin Jefferson won just because,
yeah, he's going after some records.
Yeah, I think Jahmyr Chase is up there, Eckler, and then Christian McCaffrey, I think, are like the top 4. I got to pull it up here. Yeah, those are the 4. Then Kelsey's at 5. Cooper Kupp is like up there, but like people scared about the hammy. Tyreek Hill like around 7. Devontae Adams is still there. Diggs is still there. Hold on. If we want to talk about somebody who can be there at 10, if Bijan not there, I'm taking Diggs because what happened this offseason, Diggs going to be like, give me the pill, yo. The Bills not going to want to deal with that again this year. So they're going to make sure he get the pill. So, because he was balling up until Josh got hurt, and then we all know what happened after that, and it got ugly. But that's one. I'll tell you Diggs. Yeah. Western New York, stand up. Wow.
All right, well, there you have it. Go get a receiver. Go get one of the top receivers if you can, if they're available. If not, I wouldn't say Gibbs, but Christian McCaffrey, just because he's proven a little bit, definitely try to grab him. But I do love that Gibbs pick, too. I think Gibbs is going to be just a great player in general. And so now past fantasy football, now we get into the NFL season. Let's talk about some teams that we are excited for this year. We've already talked about the Commanders, how, they have the potential, they have the talent, they have the roster. The Browns, what are some teams that, let's say, obviously it's very, very still early. It's still August. So let's say by Thanksgiving break, let's go Thanksgiving break, Thanksgiving game, who are your top 4 NFL teams?
Man, so if I had to, because I was going to give you a team I'm really excited about this year, but if I had to go top 4, I would probably put, it's kind of chalky, I get it, but it is what it is. Chiefs, Bengals, and then the Eagles. But my team, who may not necessarily be 4th, but I don't understand why they're not getting the love they're getting, is the Seahawks. Like, I am really, really intrigued on what they got going over there. You add JSN, if you know me, I love that dude game. That boy a baller. And he went to the perfect fit like people were scared about him in the league because can he beat press, right? Like, oh, is he an outside receiver? He don't got to worry about that over there in Seattle. He got 2 outside receivers already doing that for him. So he can be the underneath guy for Geno. And then Geno, as long as Geno replicates what he did last year, because you got Kenneth Walker, they got Zach Charbonnet from UCLA, I've seen him in preseason. I'm not trying to tackle him. I know they're not trying to tackle him in the league.
Mm-hmm.
You get Draymond Jones, shout out to Cleveland, helped out that D-line a little bit. Jamal Adams is back. Hopefully he's back to the player that he used to be. Then you get Devin Witherspoon, draft him 5th overall. Like, so they low-key got a DBU over there, another guy from Cleveland, Kobe Bryant, shout out to him, Tariq Woolen. Like, the Seahawks got some guys, and I believe, I don't know what their record was last year, maybe 10-7, 9-8. They kind of fizzled by the end, and I think Geno's play has something to do with it. But, man, I'm really excited about them Hawks, man. I think that's a team that's, if they're like a 3 seed like in late November, I wouldn't be like, oh, y'all, I'm surprised at all.
Mm-hmm. They got Bobby Wagner back too. So that'll be great for, leadership purposes. And I think he made the Pro Bowl last year. So
he did.
So he's still playing at a Pro Bowl level. So that is a stacked roster. Even to add, they got Julian Love as their 3rd safety, which I think is a great pickup. Someone who's smart.
Quandre Diggs, forgot him back there too.
Yep. They got the DBs for sure. They got Bobby Wagner back in the linebacker room, and then D line. I think Tariq Smith too, another Cleveland guy. He played well this preseason. So
damn, might as well be the Cleveland Seahawks. God damn.
No, they got a bunch. They got a bunch, and so I do think that roster is loaded. I definitely think they'll turn some heads. That's one of my favorite picks this year too. I would say I'm also excited about the Giants too. I can't lie about the Giants. I'm excited about the Giants. Where, like I said, they loaded up in the receiver room. They got Paris, Cole Beasley, Darren Waller, Hyatt. Who else they got? They got one more guy. I'm forgetting his
Sterling
name.
Shepard. Is he gonna make the team?
Sterling Shepard. They got Sterling Shepard. Yep, that was the guy. And then you got Saquon in the backfield. Daniel Jones, I think, played well last year. So I'm excited for that team. The defense, the D-line, unreal. Now, Dexter Lawrence, I know you played against him when you were at Syracuse. And it still was Dexter Lawrence then. But now, bro, I saw him when I went to practice. When I say he's the biggest person I've ever seen in my life. Like, I even saw Shaq. I've seen Shaq before, like up close. When I say this guy is the biggest person I've ever, it was literally a refrigerator just on legs. Like he was that big. And so even when you get into the team reps and the competition, O-line, D-line, like he's making plays, he's doing things out there. But I would just say the only questionable thing about the Giants are definitely the linebackers, and then maybe the DBs. I like the talent at the DBs. They just got to step up, but I do like the Giants. I think they'll have a great year. And I think a lot of people, this will be a great segue into the AFC North. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Steelers this year. And what I've seen from Kenny Pickett this preseason, and what I've seen from George Pickens all camp, and Deontay Johnson, like that's a great number 2 receiver. Or I don't even know who's number 2 is number 1, but if Deontay Johnson is your number 2 receiver, that is a great number 2 receiver to have. They are, and then Calvin Austin, like he was hurt last year, but the speed that he has to play on the outside, in the slot return game, I think he's exciting. He's electric. Running backs, you have Najee Harris, you have Warren, you have Connor Hayward, who's like that tight end and running back piece, fire move. Like the offense seems like it's back to Ben Roethlisberger days. That's what it seems like to me. And then you got the defense. You got TJ Watt. They got the DN who came out into the preseason. I'm forgetting his name, but he had a hell of a preseason.
Oh, Nick Herbing, the Wisconsin dude, rookie?
Yeah, Nick Herbing, hell of a preseason. You got Quan Alexander at linebacker who just looks like lightning in a bottle. And the secondary, you got headed by Mika Fitzpatrick, and then you have Pat P, Joey Porter Jr., I mean, a lot of people, I think, sleeping on them just because they're in a division with Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, and Lamar Jackson. I get it. But that group right there, and with the coaching and the organization and the structure that they have, I could really see them sitting at 2 in the division, making the playoffs, not having to worry about anything, and just having a great season.
We were talking about this a couple coworkers and I like a month ago. Like, what's the best division of football? And we were going back and forth between the AFC North and AFC East, and I'm like, it has to be the AFC North because if the Patriots made the playoffs, I'm actually like, huh? But if the Steelers made the playoffs, I'm like, duh. Like, it's the Steelers. Of course they can do so. And then you look at the roster. Obviously, preseason is the preseason. It's not the real thing. But they got some dudes like Nick Herbing. If he's your third pass rusher behind Highsmith and TJ Watt, excuse me, Lord have mercy. And then you got Canu Benton as well. He was a D tackle out of I believe Wisconsin as well. I know the Browns won it. They got some dudes. I know the defense last year was, kind of iffy. I know Ryan RC was giving them some crap on ESPN Weekly, but TJ's healthy. Minka is looking like he was already one of them ones, but I watched his highlight tape the other day from last year. He ain't getting enough love. I'm sorry that what he be doing pre-snap, post-snap, deep middle, Robin, man, blitz. It's something to watch, man. Y'all really just got to watch Minka stuff one time, man. It's really exciting to see. That's a good team, and they'll go as far as Kenny can take them, to be honest, because Mike Tomlin gonna get them to 500, like point blank. He gonna get them to 9 wins. Can Kenny take him to 11? That's gonna be the difference.
Now, what are some other teams in the AFC North that you're excited to see? Obviously, like we talked about it earlier, you got Lamar, you got Watson, and you got Joe Burrow. What are some other teams, even in AFC North, or also just outside, that you are looking forward to see and dissecting a little bit this year?
Well, for me, this one's going to hit home because obviously cover the Bills, but it's got to be the Jets, right? I mean, there's like some soap opera stuff going on over there in Jersey right now. I haven't watched Hard Knocks, but I've caught a couple of snippets. I don't know if they know Aaron Rodgers is their teammate now. Like, y'all know he not like some mythical figure that's not like, they really like kiss the floor that he's on. Like, they really love that dude over there. So it'll be funny. Like, if A-Rod is back to MVP A-Rod, good luck, everybody, because that dude that we know is one of one. But if he's not anything but, I can see some like theatrics going on over there because you got some good personalities that will just got Dalvin, Breeze, Sauce, love talking. Garrett really not the biggest talker, but A-Rod love talk. So I can't wait for that. I truly can't. I think that team will go as far as the O-line can take them because the reports haven't been good out of training camp, and the trenches really matter, especially in the AFC East that got the Bills with Vaughn and Greg Rousseau, and then the Dolphins got Chubb and Jalen Phillips and some guys down there as well. Even the Patriots got some guys in the that can rush the passer as well. So that team can go as far as the O-line can take them. But man, it got to be A-Rod. I mean, who knows how this ends up? Like, who truly does? I mean, I think anybody who is definitive about it, they're lying. The defense is phenomenal. I mean, sure, if they're not number 1 this year, they'll be top 5. Cool, whatever. That's still a great defense. But what A-Rod do we get? He's 41, y'all. Like, at some point, he got to fall off, right? But will it be this year? I have no idea.
Quentin Williams is I've been watching the Hard Knocks a little bit, and Quentin Williams is a funny guy. Loving, family, caring guy, but when he's on the field, talking to his teammates versus competing, talking to teammates, one of the funniest dudes that I've seen. But when he's on between the lines, I mean, he counted, I think, like 10 sacks against when they had their joint practice against the Panthers. And I think Rodgers, but like, it's cool seeing Rodgers now joking and like, I feel like before he was just this great quarterback, he was this mysterious guy. And then like even Pat McAfee's show opened that up a little bit more. And then now you kind of see it, even more with Hard Knocks and coming to a younger team. Like, the best when the star player on the defense may be Sauce Gardner and he may be 22 years old and Garrett Wilson is 22 years old. Like and Quinn Williams might be like 25 maybe. And so coming to a team like that, I think he knows what to expect and he knows he has to be that leader. But it's also cool seeing him like have fun, Joe, be more out there, and so get to really see his personality as a fan. And so I think this is the best time of the year. Baseball and had its turn. It's been cool.
Get them out the way.
We got college. I think I forget it was something consecutive weeks of just football. And whenever that come up, I love it because you got the college football week 0 starting tomorrow, Saturday, and then you got right into, week 1 of college football, which is going to be even amazing. Then we go into week 1 of NFL, and then from that on, we rolling and we locked and loaded. We're not leaving the couch from Saturday to Sunday. We're gonna go to work on Monday, but then we right back on the couch for Monday night. And so that's literally how the schedule worked in season. And so, also hopefully Thursday night games this year pick it up, because last year it got to a point where it was just like football on the night. Oh, we ain't watching that. So I'm excited and I mean, you can't really help it, I guess, but Amazon, I know they counting on NFL teams to play better. So I'm counting on it too, because I definitely, like I said, I love the season. I love being able to watch pro, college, and then, got to get in there and support St. Anne's High School sometimes when we can.
Yeah. Hey, before we go, talking about St. Anne's High School, they play Sunday ESPN. Make sure y'all boys lock in. Best team in the country, taking on Good Counsel. I think it's a top 20 matchup, all right? Ohio versus Maryland. All you DMV boys, we're going to show y'all how we get done in the OH, all right?
All right, here you have it. Varsity House Podcast, back with it for another episode. This is, intro into football season, and we also might have some stuff on the horizon coming up soon. So just stay tuned. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the love. Go subscribe. Varsity House Podcast. Go Irish.